Hey guys, Lenny Ravel here, and today I wanted to make a video about the differences between organized religion and individualized religion. Now, without even saying anything, many people are probably going to just simply jump and assume he's all for individualized religion and he's against organized religion. Yes and no. There's a plus and minus to both. Let me explain what. When we come into the world, we're given a set of parents, and we're given an environment and certain people and friends that we're surrounded by, and we're influenced by these people and the predominant thoughts that are mostly shared by the majority of that particular environment. We all grow up in it, and when we're young, a lot of us don't really question things. Most of us don't, and we just go along with things thinking that the way they are is for a good reason. And then we get older and we see the corruption and so forth, and we start to get disillusioned with the system that we grew up in, thinking that, the system, the religion that's organized must be wrong because I see a lot of corruption in it. And then more people start saying things like, well, what we need to do is create everyone should have their own religion. All right, someone might say that. Another person might say, you can have religion, just keep it to yourself. Go in your own room and just do it on your own. Okay, now those do have some benefits, but let's not throw the baby out with the bathwater. You really have to look at something very clearly in order to make an adequate judgment on them. For instance, the very nature of organization isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's just simply when more than one person share the same idea. Let's say, for instance, I go outside and I hug somebody. And everybody I meet I hug. Now, hugging in of itself is a wonderful, beautiful, loving gesture. Somebody else might see me doing that and say, that's a great idea. And then he goes and starts giving someone a hug. Now there's two people doing it. A third person sees the second person or me doing it, and he likes the idea, and he starts doing it. Pretty soon, say we have 50 people running around giving everybody hugs, right? Just because they looked and saw it, thought it was a great idea, and wanted to do it, and share it with other people. One of us decides we should have a place where we all get together, the hug club. And we should all get together and talk about our strategies on how to get the word out about hugging more people and how it's beneficial to people to get hugged and to feel loved, right? Now that's an organization right there, but it's not a bad thing. You're spreading something that's beautiful, the hug club, right? But at the same time, if you're, say, for instance, you like hugs, but you only hug, say, your girlfriend or your mom or whoever, just maybe one person your whole life, and you're very secluded and keep it to yourself and you hide away in your room, well, it's kind of selfish, because love is supposed to be shared with other people. It isn't supposed to be kept to yourself. The nature of love is inclusive. It's not exclusive, right? Now, on the flip side of the coin, I do understand that, yes, when things get organized and things grow bigger and bigger, you have more people joining the same one group, the chances of corruption is much larger. I understand and recognize that. However, I am saying that organization in of itself is not a bad thing. It's not organization, but what is being organized that makes it good or bad, right? If you go around saying that God hates gay people and he throws lightning bolts at everyone that doesn't listen to him, well, that organization isn't exactly great, because we know that God is love. And God doesn't throw lightning bolts at people because He gave us free will to do as we please, and we screw ourselves over or reward ourselves by our actions. If you punch a hard wall that doesn't yield to pressure, then you might hurt your hand. It's not that the wall hurts you; it's that you used your intelligence incorrectly, and the result has been damage and probably some pain. Well, we know that now, so we realize you have to respect the law. The law is, if your hand is not adequately conditioned, don't be punching hard brick walls with it, right? So at the same time, I'm getting a lot off track, but at the same time, if you go around doing nice things to people, good karma will come back on you. It doesn't matter if you organize it. Organizing it would make it even better. However, if you do something wrong and you organize it, that makes it bad. So let's get something very, very clear. It's, like I said, it's not the organization in of itself. It's the nature of what is being organized. Okay? That's just being... You got to dissect things one thing at a time. You can't just judge the whole thing. Alright? I mean, for instance, another thing in our society is we are against racists as a whole. There are racists in our society, but it's politically incorrect to be racist. You're not allowed to hate anybody that's different from you. You have to love everyone, because that's part of the PC culture. We're an overly sensitive, trying to accommodate every race in this one country. Alright, so that's part of what we grown accustomed to, that we have this reaction to hate the person that doesn't like everybody, or is prejudiced against certain people because of their color, or their, whatever. Right? But what exactly about prejudice and about racism is bad? It's the hate element, right? That's what racist is. You're saying all of them of this color are bad, so all of them are wrong for hating another person that's a different color than them. But yet, what are we doing about that in reaction to that? We're hating that person. Isn't that the element of racism that makes racism bad? You're not liking somebody? Yeah, I mean, you're all grouping them in this, but the ultimate principle behind it is you're hating somebody for it. Well, aren't you hating the racist? You might say, well, I don't like when someone does that. Well, you can dislike the action without hating the person. Because by hating the racist, you become a hater. If you want to change the racist, you have to act in opposition of the nature of the racist. In other words, you have to embrace the racist and love the racist. You don't have to love what he believes in, but love the person. That's the important thing you have to understand. So, that's another example. We can have this thing about race, but, we could say, oh, you're this color, we have to love you. We have to accept you, because it's PC. Yet religion, keep it to yourself. All religions start wars, all religions are bad, all religions are brainwashing, all religions... See? It's the same principle of stereotyping. We are being stereotyped. We're stereotyping religions in place of race, people of race. It's the same principle. It's categorizing all of one thing as bad or all of one thing as good, right? Now I'll give you another element of stereotyping that's really interesting. In a lot of people, if you say, for instance, organized, that all of one group of people, let's just hypothetically, just for an example, you say all blacks are wonderful, amazing athletes, right? They're all incredible athletes. A lot of black people say, well, thank you. And, they'll like that. They'll take pride in it. Some of them will believe it. They'll feel very confident. They'll feel proud. They'll feel pride of their ethnicity, right? But isn't that stereotyping? That's still saying all of them of that color act this way. Regardless if it's a positive stereotype or a negative, it's still stereotyping. And if you have a problem with stereotyping, even a positive stereotype is bad. Because, no, not every black man is an amazing athlete. Now, if you say all of them are criminals, of course you'll get a lot of people that hate you for saying that, because obviously that's not true either. But yet, why isn't the same principle being applied if you use a positive stereotype? Isn't that quite interesting? So, these are all things meant to kind of jog the brain. It's meant to go against the grain of what is currently in vogue. Or hip, or what is the mindset of a lot of people. Now another thing that's going on nowadays is people say, what kind of music do you listen to? Well, I listen to everything. Really? You listen to everything? You like everything? Yeah. Well, how come is it that when I go over your house and I ask to look at your CD collection or your MP3 collection, you only have certain kinds of music and not all kinds of music? I don't see polka in there. I don't see Gregorian chant. I don't see, progressive jazz. I mean, these are styles. I only see some, you know, you might have Justin Bieber and Metallica, but you don't have all the other. See, when you say things like, I listen to everything, you're giving people the impression that you literally do listen to everything. And you like everything you hear, and there's nothing that you don't like. So let's be specific. Exactly what artists do you listen to? Right? So, this video started out, it was my intention to start this video out to talk about the difference between organization and independence, individualism, concerning religion and certain groups, but I know it kind of morphed into talking about the principle of different kinds of hypocrisy as well, or you know, picking and choosing certain things. I guess I should re-title it something else that is more general to all the subjects that I just covered. Maybe something like seeing things outside of one point of view. I know it's kind of bland sounding, but at least it gets the point across. Well, that's my message for today. So instead, like I said, let's go do a little recap really quick. So when we talk about organized religion, do not stereotype all religions as bad if they're organized. It's not the fact that they're organized. It's the content of what is being organized that makes it good or bad. Okay? And the same thing with stereotyping, that's good or bad. If why stereotyping or why racism is bad is because there is an element of hating the person for being different than you. What is the difference between you hating a black man and you hating a Catholic? It's the same principle. Don't hate somebody because they happen to believe in a religion that you stereotype as all judgmental, all hypocritical, because there are good people in all religions that aren't bad people. There are good people in religions, even in organized religion. And yes, you can close the door and pray in your room. But God's love and love in general is not meant to be exclusive to only an individual. It's meant to be shared. So when you gain a certain amount of enlightenment or a certain amount of awareness when you're doing a certain practice, eventually, at some point, you should go out into the world and share this with people. Because God's love and His awareness is supposed to be shared with people so that other people may gain the benefit from the fruits and the efforts of your labor that you put in, so that they may be inspired and someone else will see them from their own efforts based on their inspiration of you. This is a huge chain reaction. So, again, don't sit there and pick and choose hypocrisy, you know? If you want to sit there and say racism is bad, so is telling everybody that they belong to an organized religion is bad. Or they're all brainwashing or all hypocritical. If you tell 100 people to go out hug people, and you call them all sheep for it, I mean, what is that? Everyone's getting a compassionate gesture that may inspire them to be more loving. That's a good thing. So think about these things scientifically, break them down individualistically, and then see their benefit when you back up as a whole grand scope, rather than just, well, there's a meme on Facebook that says organized religion starts wars, everything is bad, or we should all make fun of all conspiracies is not true, or we should just trust all conspiracies as true, or we should say that only stereotypes that are negative are bad, but positive stereotypes are great. Yet at the same time, we should publicly voice that we hate stereotypes. You see, there's a hypocrisy going on right there in all of that. So please be a thinker. Think about all these things. Don't be so quick to conclude on anything. It's your responsibility to decode, using your intelligence, what makes sense when you break it down the way I did. I hope you understand what I'm saying, and I hope you got something out of this video. If you have any comments or questions, leave them below. And I will see you soon. Thank you.